You're on.
You gotta love Tim, man. I'd like to call to order this evening's Borough Council meeting, we'll call it. And well, we don't have we did not have an executive session, so then we'll go directly to public comments, if there are any, both in room and digitally. Oh, we have Isaac Riston here in room who has signed up.
Hi, my name is Isaac Riston. That's ISAACRISTON at 227 Locust Street and Ward 5. Really, my public comment will be twofold. Don't worry, I'm telling myself I'll be under 3 minutes, I promise. Not a long comment. This is the status of the survey. Going through the agenda, nothing explicitly talking about it, so I would love to hear if during this workshop at some point what the status of that is. And if I know last time talking about going to different heads in the borough government and workers to see what their input. I just want to make sure that, that they received it, that the wheels are still going. I want to make sure that the borough council doesn't put this in the back burner for people to forget about it. And so that's what I'm looking for as a comment. And I'm really excited for the rec comprehensive plan meeting tomorrow. I'm excited to see how their survey went, how it did. I know looking online, they got a lot of shares. So I'm really excited that we can have a new method for people to give public input rather than just coming to meetings. And the second point on that topic is the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs has a 3-part series in April dedicated to this entire ordinance. The legality of it, implementing of it, all that kind of stuff. And since we are
Say that again, I didn't hear what you said.
It's okay. It's the PA State Association of Boroughs.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, they have a 3-part series in April on this kind of ordinance, making sure that you as a council can establish the one that best fits for us. And because we're a member, you actually get a discount. So as council members, I'd implore you as a resident to please take a part of this. I know right now I'm trying to see if my work will let me even take part of that as well. It's about 2-hour sessions, so about 6 hours in total. I don't need the college credits, but being able to be aware that other communities and the Association of Pennsylvania Boroughs supports this kind of effort as long as it fits us. I think that makes a lot of sense for us to do. So those are my 2 comments. Thank you so much.
I can tell you that I was in touch with our consultants for the recreation study, and she told me yesterday they've had over 500 responses to the survey so far.
That's awesome.
So
I love hearing that because like that's more people we get out to vote in the primary. So I'll take that as a win.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from the Mr. Grimm?
Good evening.
Tell us some good news, my
Sure.
friend.
As your Public Works Director, I'd like to take this time to invite you all to our public meeting tomorrow night for the Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Comprehensive Plan Open House. That's a mouthful, but we will cover that all tomorrow evening at the library. It will be downstairs in the Bear Center. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's open house style with several stations to visit and talk about various recreation opportunities, plans, things you'd like to see in the borough. At 6:30 approximately, there'll be a short presentation about some of the things that the rec board has been working on for this plan and some of the things that we have planned for in the future as we continue through. So I'd like to invite all of council and all of our residents to please attend. 6 to 8 at the Bear Center, 6:30 for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other commentary from the on-site folks? Okay. Then we'll go with help from our digital arbitrators to the online folks.
If you're joining us via Zoom, you can unmute yourself and address council if you wish.
Does that make sense? Just a quick question. If we look at what's online, Audrey's iPad and Justine, are they the only people that are watching this?
Correctly.
Okay.
Well, there's via Zoom, but there's also streaming to YouTube and Facebook, so people may be watching passively.
Okay. I'm just wondering. Okay. Thank you. I guess that takes care of that. So that moves us to the consent agenda. We have items A through F. Can I have a motion to approve that?
So motion.
Second.
Okay. I'll let you sort out who made the motion and who made the second. Any commentary? All right, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That brings us to item 4.
Me.
Finance, Personnel, Administration, and Amy.
So, what you received in your packet is information about the industrial waste pretreatment officer position that we are requesting to reinstate here in the borough. This is a position that had previously been a full-time position, I believe in 2009. They decided that we didn't need a full-time pretreatment officer. Those duties were kind of dispersed. The bulk of those responsibilities fell on the former superintendent of wastewater and treatment, which was Tim Mayers, who retired last month. With his retiring, a employee at the wastewater treatment plant has kind of taken this role and worked a lot with Eric Maines and the supervisor of the wastewater treatment plant to begin to develop this program, and realize that it hasn't been modernized in a very long time. The fees are very out of date. There's just a lot of regulations changing and everything that's changed. And so we need somebody who's going to really take over this program and manage it and modernize it. So
I
that's the
would
request.
like to make the motion to approve that position, because we had it before, we absorbed it into another, now we've lost it. And without it, we have liability here, both environmentally and financially. So for what it's worth, I'd like to make that motion. Could I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you very much, Brian. Any discussion?
At some point in time, will Amy or somebody, that person's supervisor, come back and let us know how things are going with the new person? I assume we're going to advertise for that position.
yeah, and I think that what you'll probably end up seeing also is a amendment to our fee schedule.
Right.
Once that person has the ability to assess our current fees, I imagine we'll probably be back before you saying, hey, we've had a chance to look at it and this is what's going to change, so.
When was the last time those fees were updated?
I don't know offhand, I'm sorry.
It's been a while.
Wow,
I would assume so.
yeah.
Okay. All right, if there's no questions, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Are you going to take care of the YMCA?
Sure. So the YMCA began running our summer rec program 2 years ago, and it's worked out very well. So they're proposing to do our program again this year. There are some minor changes, but the overall cost of the program is the same as last year.
About 40,000.
Yeah, it's about $40,000, 37.8, 37.5, whatever's there. Mhm.
The question, my concern is, why isn't there a playground program at West Hanover Street? Yeah.
Because they were renovating it.
There wasn't one last year.
They were renovating, I thought they were renovating it last year.
So, do you know, AJ, why the? Sure.
So it's twofold, the issues there. The YW asked to move from there after their first year, and it fit because we had the renovations happening.
Right.
We did the stormwater renovations last summer. This summer will be the playground renovations. There may be a chance that Bear Avenue is also affected by that, so it may kind of be a split season. So we'll have to see how that goes. With delays in getting equipment was the big reason for Bear Avenue being pushed back also. So Bear Avenue is added as a new playground that hadn't been on in previous years. But eventually the plan is, and we expressed that to the Y, to kind of spread back out over all of the neighborhoods. It was basically based off of attendance, and we had very poor attendance there and at the Myers Memorial Playground with the new time system of the
Could you
program.
use Hanover Street Elementary School for the people in that neighborhood? Because you do use Washington Street Elementary School.
So Washington Street Elementary School was also undergoing renovations, so that's why the plan was made to use Bear Avenue this year.
In
So
Washington,
like,
we run a summer program at Washington.
Oh, that's right, yeah, I'm
That was,
sorry. I'm
that was the
thinking-
main reason why we
Yes.
didn't do
once
Washington.
again?
We run the summer
Oh.
program at Washington, so we got a.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking of West Hanover
We-
Elementary. where
We
that was.
had 5, 6, 7 years ago, David Fry, who I'm sure Mr. Kress knows well, who's the director of IT at the school district. He had done, they call a heat map, that showed the ages of the children based in the different areas, in the different parks. It might be worthwhile if we could ask him to do that again, to make sure that we have the programs going on in the right places based on the ages of the children.
Participants, right.
It's hard to build up an
I don't know
attendance
if
when
you
you
knew
don't
that,
have a
Tim, or
program
not,
for 2
so
years. I mean, you don't have a program for 2 years, it's pretty hard to build up an attendance. I'm just pretty disappointed that last year we didn't have one, now we don't have it again this year. And it just sort of looks like that neighborhood sort of suffers. But we got lots of stuff on the other side of town, and I just think it's discrimination.
I understand.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think Barb's right.
I don't think it's fair. But- you know, we're contract with YMCA, they should not be telling us what they're gonna do, we should be telling them what they're gonna do, because we're paying, and we're contracting them, they're not doing it free.
Right. Unfortunately, we're just in that position this year of the stormwater updates last year and the equipment this year.
I understand that, so I'm
Yeah.
saying, why couldn't we go to the Hanover Elementary School playground? You can't do that because of summer programs there?
No, Hanover Street could be a,
Hanover Street has summer programs?
no, it could be a viable option.
We can take concerns back to the Y and, you know, discuss possibly changing the parks.
I would think you might get kids if you have it at Hanover Street Elementary School, maybe.
So what are the actions that we want to take forward from this?
Can you check with them by the time we have our next meeting? That'd be great.
Will that be next week?
Yeah, that'd be good, if you could check.
Tim, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I think I can find that out pretty quick.
Okay.
It would be okay.
I would hope.
Any other questions on that?
I would just say that would eliminate one of the programs somewhere else. So I guess that's kind of the options that we would bring to the table next time. So one of the playgrounds would be out if we add one of those, that's all.
They can only do 4.
Yeah, they can only do
Or we
4.
do, okay. I was
Right.
gonna say, or we do spend more money, but apparently that's not, they don't have the resource to
Yeah,
do
they
that.
have the resources to
Right.
do 4.
Okay.
Staffing.
And,
Apparently
and,
they do a pretty good job with it, from what I
Yes.
hear.
and that's what our contract says. I'm sure we could pay them more to get more coverage, but our contract says 40, 30, whatever you reference, so.
At 37 and change, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
Okay.
ask them if they could do more if we pay them more?
Staffing was the issue. They're about maxed out. The year before, they asked us to help them with staffing. So we've worked together to get as much as we can. And I think as we build the program and it becomes more popular, you know, that's definitely an option for the future and where we want to push this as we
And
continue
more
to update.
predictable.
Right.
Right.
We can ask that question, though, when we talk with them this week, before
That'd be
next
good.
week's meeting.
That'd be nice, thank you.
Okay. So where are we in that? Do we need to vote on that, or are we gonna leave that till?
Next week.
Next week. All right. Thank you all.
Still need you.
Press on.
So the next section is your governance and policy committee. At the governance this month, we discussed the resolution 1296, which is your rules for public meetings. That has been discussed at length. And what was decided is this 3 minutes is working pretty well. The only thing that the committee members asked that we make clear is that the chair's role in any meeting when there's public comment, the chair has the ability to extend the comment or stop comment if it becomes repetitive or whatever. So there was just that minor change to that item to move that note that the power lies in the chair to control the meeting underneath the 3-minute time limit, so.
So we need a motion to move that forward.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Barb, have a second. Any discussion? Okay, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries, thank you.
Next is
Fringe
the
benefit?
fringe benefit
Got
policy.
the whole night here.
I know, I'm done after this. I'm leaving. No. So the fringe benefit policy, as you know, we don't have a lot of personnel policies. So we're trying to get these kind of basic policies established. Fringe benefits, the taxability of fringe benefits is actually set by the Internal Revenue Code. But to clarify and kind of consolidate so that employees can read it and understand it, we developed a policy that really just discusses some things that might come up with some employees as far as mileage, expense reimbursements, clothing, just small expenses and what the taxability of those items are. So that policy is there before you. Once that is adopted, we plan to do an internal audit to make sure that we are handling those things the right way and that they're being taxed properly.
So we need a motion,
So motion.
A second.
second. Thank you. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You're 4 for 4 or whatever, Amy, thank you. Eric? Thank you.
All right, 2 items for you. The first is water resources. So one of the things that happens from time to time with developments when they install public infrastructure is they then hand that over to the borough. Certainly you want to own it as an asset, you're already collecting revenues off of it and things like that. And so one of the things I've been working to do is to clean up that process a little bit because it's a little bit loosey-goosey right now and it needs to be more strict because there's certain guidelines and laws that needs to be adhered to. So this development's one that's been lingering around, the Brookside development. We're actually into phase 4 of that now. And as they're starting to get things wrapped up, the other phases have been completed, but they've never really been handed over. And we as a borough have never really been aggressive about saying, hey, you're done with that. Why don't we go through the dedication process? So I have been working with Burkentine, who is the builder in that development, having some meetings. I've been working with the solicitor to make sure we're getting all the right things lined up. And all of that's moving in the right direction. What I'm asking council for approval tonight is to approve the offer of dedication contingent. And I say contingent because there are still a number of items that the solicitor and I need to work through. There are some easement agreements. There's a maintenance bond that needs to be posted and some of those things. What I would like to do is to have council make this motion so that it kind of frees me up to finish out those efforts. And then, we may be back if there's any loose ends, but overall it allows me to just finish up that process. That's what the ask is for Brookside.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion? Second?
Second.
Discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? You're good. Thank you.
Item 7, so Planning Commission has recommended to you the approval of a plan by R.H. Shepherd Company. And largely what is happening here is a sort of reconsolidation of property. So if you've ever looked at a map of all of the properties that R.H. Shepherd has, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle with a few pieces missing. So what they're trying to do is to kind of clean some of that up. They're doing some corporate restructuring as well. And so they've hired a surveyor who's kind of cleaned it up and made it into several large tracts, bringing a bunch of small little disjointed tracts together. And so Planning Commission has been looking at that, and ultimately they have brought it to you with a recommendation for a conditional approval. There are some sort of administrative things we have to work through, but there are no zoning issues with it. There are no those things that we typically wrestle with as a council. And so it's positioned for you to accept their recommendation and to approve that subdivision plan.
Can I ask a question or two? One, is this going to cost us anything in assessed value / tax money?
It's really like a shell game. It's just kind of moving things around. It's
So
not
it's the same
necessarily
pieces, just
changing the values.
Okay.
Just
So it
putting
wasn't-
the expensive things all on one tract instead of spreading them across 6 tracts.
Just want to make sure it wasn't like the mall.
It is not like.
I like them all.
Very
Well, I
few
mean,
things
that's-
are.
Right. Okay. So, can we have a motion?
Motion.
I'll second.
Second? Any questions?
Yes, an additional question. Stormwater implications?
0, it's a lot line plan, so it's just changing lot lines around. The only implications for impervious coverage would have been related to zoning matters, and they meet all of those. So we did actually ask for one thing. Some time ago last summer, they were doing a construction project.
Right.
They asked if they could stone one of their grassed areas where the houses used to be. We allowed them to do that. I did take this opportunity, this plan, to actually have that put on the plan, that needs to be converted back to grass when they're done with that project. So now I've got sort of a legal basis to make sure that it happens. But other than that, there's really no stormwater implications.
And they could maybe even like move it somewhere else within their new configuration.
Potentially.
Okay, that works, okay, thank you.
To kind of maintain the same level
Yeah.
of pervious
If it works
space.
for them somewhere else, yeah, just put it more convenient or something.
Good point.
Good concept, yeah.
Okay? So, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? All right, thank you. Brings us to number 8, public safety. Back again.
Sure. In public safety, we're asking to approve the elimination of a 2-hour parking area. This is at 108 East Chestnut Street, so it's at the intersection of Chestnut and Railroad. If you've tried to come into town, where Royal Farms is on your right and 108 East Chestnut is on your left, and you come to that 4-way intersection, it's very difficult. There's no good line of sight there. It's become more noticeable with the construction vehicles parking there as that building is being renovated, and we plan to have more folks in that area. We wanted to go ahead and get ahead of that now to eliminate that potential hazard and eliminate that area of 2-hour parking, which was only accommodated for a business that had been there many, many years ago.
The old junk store.
Yeah.
So, this is a reduction in parking, essentially.
In 2-hour parking, yes.
I guess the new owner's not going to be too happy about that.
The part of this parking would have had to have been eliminated anyway. The new owner is going to utilize the garage space that is there as an entrance to a parking area.
Okay, so conceivably, he's creating new parking, which won't be an issue. Okay.
Correct.
How many spaces does it affect?
Literally might be 2, maybe 3, and as I said, they were limited to 2-hour spaces.
Well, I think they're going to eliminate a big headache, because as we discussed it at Public Safety, is that you now have the apartments there, so they need to pull in, am I correct on that?
Yes.
And, into their spaces. and
So
if
they're
you-
in the way anyway.
Exactly.
Good point.
I'd like to make the motion.
Seconded.
There's any discussion
So there will
further?
be no parking there then?
Correct.
That's the elimination of it. Okay, thanks.
Okay. And no discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much.
Public Works here. AJ, you're back.
Number 9, Public Works.
Ask the Public Works guy.
Back again.
don't go that
You gotta
easy.
put a different hat on this time.
Yes. That's where I have all my
We got
experience in
the
transportation.
Arley grant, because you gotta love these 3, 4, and 5-letter acronyms, right?
Yes. So this goes back to what we've talked to. I just wanted to bring this to council so that you know where we're moving in the next phase of this Arley grant, which is the grant that we are using to do our traffic congestion and pedestrian safety updates to the square. We will basically update our traffic signals, eliminate the ancillary crosswalk signal to make it simpler and easier for folks to use and understand. Our first step is getting a survey that includes an aerial survey to create a base map for the project. This
Is on the square.
Correct. Yep. So the cost of the survey is $20,650. This cost will be, we have planned for this both through our grant, and then we have put aside $50,000 for this project for our matching funds. So this will be covered, once we have the final billing, we'll be able to determine which parts of it may go in the grant, which parts of it may be the part of our matching consideration. We'll know that as we kind of work through this process, but I want to let you know the idea is to get this done before the leaves start coming out on the trees. So I wanted to get this in front of you. One of the big benefits of this is that this will also be used to create the mapping that will assist in the streetscape. So that's basically some free work we're getting for the other plan that we're doing.
So at what point do we get rid of the duplicate traffic lights?
When they're gonna start.
As we go through this process, yes.
I mean, but could we have like a quarter of a year? Like, what,
Yeah. So
About.
I would love to give you that. When you're dealing with PennDOT permits and permissions,
it.
it's a different story. So I would hope we're within easily a 2-year window. But,
So
you know,
before the end of '24, maybe?
yeah, we can be hopeful.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, because I thought we
Sure
were
sounds
done
like
with
it.
the
You're actually asking
double
for
lights
miracles.
62 times ago.
Yeah.
Or 62 studies ago or something.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So, AJ, when
Okay.
you say the survey, how far are they going? with
So
the
it will actually extend, it's not just the square, I mean, it's not that much further. They're going down Baltimore Street half a block, up Carlisle, down Frederick, and then up toward Broadway
4 months ago.
to the intersection there. So it also includes the Broadway Railroad Street intersection.
Okay. And in this process, are they going to eliminate the ADA ramps that are in the secondary?
Correct.
Okay, and
Yep, that's
any
part
ideas on barriers that we might put in to keep people from,
Now, at this
old
time-
habits are hard to break.
Sure. At this time, it would most likely be an informational type campaign with signage in the areas to, please cross at the square, use the crosswalks, those kind of things. So a lot of it will be informational. But yes, taking those ADA ramps out, returning them to regular curb will be part of it. Another big part of it, which may not mean a lot to some folks, but to me, it means the world, the control system for this intersection will actually be moved to the square. Currently, it's on Railroad Street.
It's on that big box there.
Yes.
That controls half of the United States.
Yeah, so on the side of the Oak Kitchen there. So if we are trying to do something, we literally need to have a guy down at the square with a walkie-talkie to tell the other guy, yeah, that's not working, this is on flash, those kind of things. So it makes it so much simpler and an easier process for us when we're doing maintenance and repairs.
Can we, can you coordinate with the enhancement, the streetscape folks?
Yes.
Dewberry on that?
Yep, we have, and that's why we made sure that this map would also serve their needs. We were looking at possibly doing any other aerial surveys. The savings just wasn't there for other potential projects that we have in the future. But it wasn't a substantial savings to try and do that. But yeah, that's a great point. As we have all these things coming together, we've definitely tried to really stay cohesive and make sure that we aren't duplicating efforts and that we're trying to get everything in one forward motion here as we work through all of these grants and projects that are happening.
So you mentioned leaf out, so I'm assuming this is a drone survey?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
It's not drone, they're
yeah.
doing actual aerial.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Actual aerial?
Plane aerial, old school aerial.
yeah, a Cessna.
That's, okay.
So
Which is good, 'cause in the future, then we can request the additional mapping be digitized.
We're
even
using
if
the
not
borough
ready.
airplane.
All right.
You covered that already in the fringe.
Seemed odd that based on the level of detail you can get from a drone.
AJ, so this money for this survey, that was all part of the
That's strange.
planned budget for this project, right?
Correct, so.
There's nothing new outside of that.
Right, so we have the grant money, which is 450-some thousand, and we have set aside for our matching approximately 50,000. Now, that doesn't mean we might need a little more, we were just trying to give a base effort. Those permits are very expensive, those rates change, but we're right in that ballpark.
Okay,
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
okay. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. I think you're finished. Okay, item 10, reports of council members, council committees, and other public bodies. Mr. Lockard,
He's over there.
where are you?
Public
There
Safety
you go.
Committee, I'm right here. Public Safety Committee did have a meeting this past week, and the main thing that we had discussed was the 108 East Chestnut Street, eliminating the 2-hour parking to make that easier for people to be able to see there at that intersection. So that was the main thing right at this point.
Thank you, sir. The Enhancement Committee, Mr. Hegberg.
We had a very good meeting, lots of dialogue. We went through all the projects that the borough has going on, so everybody's up to date on what's happening with each one of those. We had conversation on what are the top 3 issues or concerns that each of the committee members and citizen advisors had. We're going to try to summarize and sort of tighten them up, because there were a lot of them.
Okay.
We discussed the properties that the borough owns outside of the borough, and we determined to have the 2-year term for the citizen advisors. Lots accomplished.
Thank you very much. Water and Sewer, President Ricard.
Yes, Water and Sewer did meet this month. We do what we do, which is not too mentionable. But the tip of a new initiative that we're hoping to come back to council with in the next, say, quarter, would be the time frame. Would be an initiative partnering with some companies that can help us basically take some of our waste products and turn it into money. So,
Great.
I mean that just to
Like
be a...
Milorganite.
Yes, just to be a teaser, okay, so to keep you interested in water and sewer, when we come back to you and report what that is, but that concludes.
Because I use Milorganite on the yard.
Gotcha.
All right. Public Works and Facilities, Mr. Kress.
As we continue with the new facilities for the public works to be moved, the site surveys have been done. They're starting with the drawings on both properties. And we actually have started this already, but continuing with the finance options and looking at some other grants that are coming down the road. So we'll keep you abreast of what's going on.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Kress. Dr. Rupp, Governance and Policy.
We're just sort of plugging along, and I just thank you for approving the 2 things we brought to your attention tonight. Thank you.
All right. And lastly, Fire Commission, either President Ricard or Mr. Lockard.
I can give you a little information on that. We have ordered a new engine. We did that to avoid any further price increases because those things seem to be going up astronomically, as in 10 or 20% at a clip. And when you start talking about many hundred thousands of dollars, that adds up real fast. And our meeting is, the Fire Commission meeting is scheduled for this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And going forward, all of our meetings for the Fire Commission are going to be held at the Clover Lane Fire Station, because we have better handicap accessibility there. So That's all I had to report for the Fire Commission.
All right, thank you very much. Enhancement Committee, Mr. Hegberg already brought that up, but we need to approve the 2-year terms. Chuck, you want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Second, any discussion? Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, takes care of that. That brings us to item 12, management reports. Are there any?
So,
Okay, none is good. Any correspondence and information?
There are a few items in your packet. Information from the United Way of York County, information on the York County Economic Alliance. Those are the 2 items of correspondence. I'm sorry, there's another one there. There have been several informational pieces signed by the public regarding the proposed rental unit registration. There's another one in your packet this evening.
Generic letters.
Actually, 2, it looks like. They're back to back.
Generic.
Information on the Municipal Transparency and Accountability Act for you to read. And then another informational piece from Taxpayers for Greater Accountability regarding school board, local private school leaders, and community and other state legislators regarding the lack of communication and lack of knowledge about how local governments work. I will just say, in addressing that last piece, the Governance and Policy Committee at their meeting talked about having an informational piece available for the public in order that they may communicate better during public meetings. So that piece is being developed and will be available for approval by the board and available for the public, so.
Good, thank you very much. Okay. Turns me back.
Scott?
I'm sorry?
Barb?
Barb,
I
I'm
have a
sorry.
question. I know we were told this before, but I just need to hear it again. When is that going to start with fixing up this alley that's out here, right next to us?
You're talking Doss Alley?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So they were in there last week doing some of the stormwater work. The preliminary design's been laid out, but now they needed to do some soil tests and things to make sure the design would work. So likely, because it didn't work as well as they thought, we'll probably got to make some adjustments to it. But that's moving along well through design, so we probably have about another month maybe left in design before we then start building the contract documents, and I'd look for it to be out in the fall, probably.
Thank you.
Or, just an aside in that, what are we gonna do with the 200 or 300 pair cables that are hanging there?
Yeah, so for now, you know, we unfortunately don't have the cost to do all of the work we need to do to move that stuff around. So one of the things we've talked about is providing conduit banks that would be empty initially, but while we're tearing things up, perhaps get some conduit banks in.
Okay, so we'll put the conduit in the ground, and at some point in the future, we'll
Correct. And then
poke
we
the
would be able
cable.
to move it down there without having to
Well,
take the alley.
likely 2/3, if not more of that wire's dead anyway anymore. Okay, thank you.
The telephone.
Dr. Rupp, is that
Thank you, I just need
good?
a reminder.
Okay. I guess that brings us to additional public comment. Do we have any here in the room?
Mr. Chairman, just to remind everybody, if you have any questions to add to the workshop questionnaire, okay, you can turn them in. Margie, how much time do they have to get those?
We're finalizing the survey now. It'll be presented for board review.
Okay, thank
So
you,
there-
Margie.
there's
Thank you, Margie.
Another week or 2.
Okay, that's all.
Came out yet.
Okay. Apparently no one here. Anyone online? Audrey's iPad, Justine, or Mark Kaufman? Not to you know,
Call them out.
Yeah, right.
point you out, but,
Too late.
okay, well. I was asked then to bring forward just in the end, the additional meeting reminders. March 16th, we have the rec comp plan tomorrow night. March 22nd, we have the conditional use public hearing prior to our council meeting next week. And April 13th, the stormwater water capital project public engagement meeting. That's a lot of big words. At 6 p.m. And that's at the library and the Bear Center, in addition to all the other meetings. So with that, can I have a motion, I believe, for dismissal or for adjournment? Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for everyone for attending.